I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk to folks from the VTuber community about their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. KaiiNeko joins us. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, introduce yourself to everybody, please.
I'm KaiiNeko. I am a Twitch streamer, VTuber. I just go by Kai usually, but that's me.
How long have you been on the VTube scene?
I've been creating content as a whole for many, many years, but a VTuber for the past 2.5 months.
No, for just 2.5 months. What brought you from one type of creation to the other?
It had been a long time since I'd made content, and one of my very, very good friends is a VTuber, and they more or less coaxed me into it. And ever since I started, I have loved it to no end.
Were you a fan of VTubers before you got started?
I was, yeah. I watch a lot of VTuber content.
So you were familiar with it, obviously, and you just need a little prodding to get into it.
More or less, yeah, yeah.
So how have you liked it so far? I mean, you said you enjoyed it, but is it everything you expected?
Honestly, it's a little bit more than I've expected, if I could even say that. Like, the people I've met have been very amazing. A lot of the community I've formed and communities I've joined have been very, very nice, very inviting, welcoming, and honestly, it's been a blast.
Well, that sounds great. I mean, that just there's a lot of people who kind of in all these interviews I've been doing who've kind of found their feet in this and really are able to uh, what's the best way to put it? Find themselves a little bit even by putting on a model in front of them. Do you think that's happened for you?
Oh, 100%. Definitely. I definitely feel very comfortable in my own skin,
Mm-hmm.
even when I have a model up on the screen.
Yeah,
Somehow it's made me very comfortable with who I am.
that's great. And that's one of the great things that this media has been able to do for people is allow them to, and it's strange for people who don't know what's going on, allow them to be themselves when they're not.
That's true. Yeah, it's a very interesting thing how somehow having a model up on your screen makes you as a person feel more like you. But it's a good medium for that kind of thing, that's for sure.
Yeah. Now you were doing content before. What type of content?
I've dabbled in mostly YouTube content years, not, I wouldn't say too many years ago, but it's been on and off for a long time.
Mhm.
That content no longer is available, but
Everybody's
lots
everybody's
of
writing down their notes. See if I can find this note.
lots of starting and stopping throughout the years of content creation, but this time I'm definitely sticking it and making it a forever.
Well, it sounds like you've always kind of wanted to be an entertainer in the on the internet one way or another.
That is very true. Yes, it is certainly my dream to be a content creator.
Well, have you always been an entertainer type?
Um, I think so. I have definitely gone in and out of phases of thinking I'm introverted and extroverted, but I think I've definitely come to realize in recent time I'm certainly more of the entertainer type and the kind that wants to make people laugh and smile.
Were you a drama kid in school?
Believe it or not, I was not.
I think it's about 50-50. I think when I've asked folks this question, and 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 it's not consistent for anyone, but I myself I never could get on stage to save my life. I still think it's amazing that you and other creators are able to get out there and show what you can do in the face of anonymous possible criticism. Um, that to me is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely a bold thing for a lot of people. I think there is certainly a lot of criticism out there,
Mhm.
but as a content creator, you kind of just gotta let it brush past you. Otherwise, I mean, it's gonna bog you down. There's so much positivity, but there's also so much negativity that you just gotta, at least in my opinion, try to ignore the negative things and just focus on the good things, and that helps make your mental health feel a little bit better.
Remember, if they could do it better, they would. So, and
Exactly.
that's where they're coming from, and a lot of it is just plain jealousy, or just they want to make themselves the show, and that's not the way it works in this particular field. So when you're streaming, you've got a variety of games you've been streaming. What's your favorite type of games to stream?
Well, my favorite type of games to stream, I would have to say, would be anything that I can really interact with my community with,
Hmm.
be that like something that's on in the background more or less, and I'm just talking to people in chat. That's definitely my favorite thing to do, is to just talk with members of my community.
I saw Stardew Valley up there.
Yep, that's a good one for that. Anything that's kind of chill
Mhm.
and you can play the game, I don't want to say mindlessly, but you know, it's there, it's entertaining, but you're just mostly talking to the people in your chat. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've got about 30 saves of Stardew Valley myself,
It's a
and
good game.
now they've got the update, and I'm scared to get started because I will lose several years of my life, and I don't have that many left in comparison to a lot of people. I, I was going to have a
It's
middle
time
age
well spent.
I was going to have a middle age crisis, but I fear I'm a little too late for that. So, but really, those games do allow you to not only keep up with the games, but since it has the new addition to it, you're playing this game along with everybody else too. It's still it's refreshened.
Yeah, it certainly has. Definitely come back into the light a little bit more. Stardew Valley, at least specifically, has been decently relevant for some time. You know, it's never died off too hard,
Hmm.
but the new update has definitely brought it back onto people's radars a lot more.
I see some other games there. Did I see Lethal Company on there? How do you go from Stardew Valley to Lethal Company?
That's just what it's like being a variety streamer. Whatever is looking like a lot of fun, I'm like, I'm all for it. But I've only ever done Lethal Company as collabs
Oh yeah,
with a large amount of people usually.
and a lot of yelling.
Oh, always very loud, very chaotic.
So how many people have you had on the Lethal Company?
The most I've ever had at once was 8,
Mm.
and that was it's a lot to handle.
By a lot, you mean impossible?
Yeah, more or less impossible.
Well, I mean it's very chaotic, obviously, and it's fun to watch. I think sometimes the game itself might get lost a little bit when you have too many people, but that's not the point. The point is it's kind of a party game to start with.
Exactly. Party games, when you have a lot of people, I almost feel like the game almost matters a little bit less, and it's more the people
Yeah.
when you get to that number of people at least.
So it sounds to me like you've been able to get yourself a pretty good group of people to collaborate with.
Yeah, I've honestly been really all over the place. I have a couple I guess static friends and groups that I frequently talk with and play with, but every week pretty much I'm doing at least one collab with people I've never collabed with before.
Oh,
So
nice.
definitely a large reach of people.
Have you have you had that point yet where things just didn't quite work out, or the what seemed to be a pretty good matchup really wasn't in the end?
I would say yes,
Hmm.
but to not a very large degree.
Hmm.
I've definitely talked to some people that I just did not vibe with extremely well, be
Hmm.
that on stream or off.
Hmm.
But it's never been to the point where it's like, okay, this person's such a big problem with my content kind of thing. It's just been more or less like we do the thing and maybe we just don't do anything again.
Well, yeah, that happens. I mean, it doesn't have to be a head-to-head battle and that sort of thing. It just sometimes it just doesn't mesh.
Yeah, exactly. Content styles differ and all that.
Yep, and you just gotta shake hands and say, "Okay, good luck." From
Pretty much,
from
yeah.
there. So what are you doing right now? What are you streaming at the moment?
Well, at the moment, I still mostly variety stuff. My next handful of weeks, at least, are looking like I do a lot of Elden Ring with a group. We play a multiplayer
Hmm.
thing, just three of us. It's pretty fun. We do that about once a week.
Hmm.
Um, I try to reserve another day for another potential collab. Um, and then my other stream day during the week is usually just like whatever I'm feeling at the time.
So you go with a vibe mostly for that day. That's your chill day.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like this is the day I relax. We're coming off of one or two collabs usually, and that's the day I'll sit with my chat and kind of hang out with them and talk about what's going on in my life, what's going on in their lives, things like that.
This sounds like you've got a pretty good setup here. I think you've got a really good balance of entertaining through the games and also working with the chat as well.
I like to think so. I'm definitely trying um, very hard to find the proper balance between what kind of streams I enjoy and also chat enjoys because we're making a symbiotic relationship there. I want to make sure they're having fun while I'm also having fun.
Hmm.
I think that balance is slowly uh, coming to a head and becoming very good and manageable.
Have you found it easier to do that as a VTuber than you were earlier in your other creative efforts?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I find a almost a almost having a character making it a little bit easier to collaborate with people,
Mhm.
and I don't know if it's because it's a face that's not necessarily mine that makes it easier to talk to people. Um, but I think that even just streaming as a whole feels a lot more comfortable to me than recording a YouTube video, editing it, and then uploading it because there's not that live interaction.
Right, right. Are you using YouTube as kind of a promo type of thing for your channel right now?
At the moment, I am not, but very, very soon, I plan on creating content on more than just Twitch.
Hmm.
Like, I plan on branching out to YouTube in multiple ways, be it shorts and videos meant for just there, and TikTok, uploading whatever they have on there. There's just short form content, I guess.
Just throwing stuff on TikTok, see if anything sticks.
Yeah, I mean, more or less, just making things that I like and that I think are funny, and uploading it to different sites to maybe try to gain some traction from there.
Yeah. Now, are you going to maybe combine some of the things you did earlier and put it through? I mean, use the new model and your quote unquote character as a sieve to try and you know try to work some of your older stuff in.
I think the thought is definitely there. Um, I'm not too sure how much of it I realistically want to work in because the style I made was very let's play,
Hmm.
and that was fun and fine. I did enjoy making that kind of content, but streaming already is almost like you are doing a let's play,
Hmm.
but with live involvement. And I already enjoy that so much. I don't know if I would go ahead and make a let's play and upload it to YouTube again. Probably not.
Hmm. Yeah, it is. I enjoyed watching the Let's Plays and still do, and depending on the person doing it, and the content creator doing it, and I think this is going to be applying more and more to folks in the VTuber community as well. Uh, Folks can, if let's say you put out a Lethal Company, well, there's a lot of people playing Lethal Company, and they might tune in to see it, but they're going to come back because of your personality.
Yeah, that's a big thing is people will initially maybe join because of the game you're playing or because even maybe your model looks good on stream. But for people to keep coming back and to stick around, you got to have a personality. You got to be something that somebody will want to come back to multiple times.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You've got that. You've got a good mindset for this, and I think you've really got some things set up here. Um, what is a game coming up soon that you really want to get in on your stream that hasn't come out yet?
Um, oh, that's a good question actually. I'm not sure about anything that's coming out soon.
Hmm.
Um, the first one that comes to my mind would maybe be a new expansion to Final Fantasy 14. It's
Hmm.
not a new game necessarily, but a whole new DLC and stuff.
Hmm.
That's soonish, not until summer,
Right.
but Final Fantasy 14 is a game I very much so enjoy, and I'd love to share with my community more when that new content comes out.
As a matter of fact, you did that just not that long ago.
I did play Final Fantasy just the other day for the first time on stream.
Are there some games that you have right now that you haven't been able to get on stream yet?
Yeah, definitely. The first one that comes to mind for that is the other day a game was free on Steam
Mm.
called Content Warning.
Ah,
And yes, people were tweeting about it, posting in Discords like, "Oh, it's free. It looks like so much fun." I'm really looking to do that someday soon with people on stream because I just think it would be so funny.
there's always one game that it seems that that streamers would rather play off the stream and may play by the. Is there a game that catches you more as a mine and mine alone game rather than streaming?
Yeah, I I find one that comes to my mind immediately for that would be the Horizon Zero Dawn series of games.
Okay.
I have tried to stream them only once, and I was very much so in the mindset that it would be a much more enjoyable experience if I was just playing it on my own, so to
Mm.
say.
And some games and some streamers uh, just it just doesn't match up right with trying to please an audience too, because some games you just have to concentrate so much that you lose that connection with the chat.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, is that
That
what
is
happened with that
definitely a
game?
thing.
With that game, is that what happened?
With that one, it was more of it's so story heavy
Mm.
and very cutscenes, a lot of cutscenes of people talking in game, and I don't want to talk over the characters in game because I'm trying to listen to them, but then I can't talk to my chat because the characters are talking, and it just didn't mesh well for me, at least for in my head.
Telling the chat to shut up is not a good thing.
No,
Usually,
absolutely, I never want to do that.
usually anyway. Sometimes you gotta. But what's coming up next for you? Have you got something big in your sights here soon?
I got a couple things. Maybe not solo content, but collabs wise, I have some other Lethal Company streams on the
Mm.
horizon.
Yeah.
I'm working on putting together a larger one for Crab Game
Oh.
with a friend of mine,
Hmm.
and me and another group of people are looking to maybe start doing some VR chat on stream because that could be very funny.
It certainly can. Have you got all the equipment for it right now?
I do.
Mm.
It's just been a while since I've booted up VR chat. I got to make a model and everything, and
Yeah.
that's a headache.
Yeah, and that's you have to do it now. Again, I don't know how the modeling things work. So, do you have to come up with a 3D version of what you're doing right now?
More or less,
Yeah.
the method that's been recommended to me is buying assets
Mm.
off of a website
Mhm.
and meshing them together in Unity to just make them work. Every person I've talked to about making a VR chat model basically explains it as a Frankenstein's monster of a creation.
Just smash it together and hopefully something will come out. Sounds like my
Exactly. Yeah.
sounds like my cooking. Yeah, just whatever in the fridge, just put it together, and that's your sandwich. The but the ability to do this though isn't something that a lot of people can do well. I mean, did you put together your model?
um, my VTuber model.
Yeah.
I did not actually. My model is, and I'm very open about this with everybody in my chat and everything. My model is actually from Etsy
Hmm.
and was redone and recolored and more or less remade in a sense by me and a friend. We spent a long time taking what was originally there and making it more what I was looking for.
Well, to me, that's the same thing. I mean, you took what was there and you made it yours.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't something I necessarily made from the ground up,
Yeah.
but still heavily did a lot to it.
Just because just because you're an artist doesn't mean you have to make the paint.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you're able to do this to get and you're going to be able to use that. You think to make the model for the virtual chat?
It's a different set of skills,
Mm.
but the at least coloring wise and using different, artistic things and meshes and all that fun stuff, that at least carries over a little bit.
Yep. All of that stuff that I have absolutely no ability in whatsoever. I said I've tried to draw stick figures and I just set the paper on fire.
Uh,
That's how bad my art is. The It sounds like you've really got this going. I mean, it's 2.5 months. You did have the experience of being on the internet before as an entertainer. It sounds like you got the good thing going here.
I definitely think that so far it's been going very well. I certainly am in no place to complain, and I never would. I'm very happy to just be here doing what I'm doing. Um, I think the future is looking very bright, very enjoyable, and I'm very excited to see where it goes.
Well, I'm going to see where it goes too, and hopefully, when you get some of these big things coming up, you come back on and we'll talk about it. Okay?
Absolutely. I mean, I would certainly be down for that.
I really appreciate you coming on. That's KaiiNeko. We're going to have the how you can get to the Twitch coming up on the description of the video. So hopefully you'll be able to tune in and see what KaiiNeko has to offer. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me. This was a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.